Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Got a little different schedule this week. Usually we're live on Tuesdays, but today felt like the right day. So here we are. So I have some fun stuff to share with you today, and we're going to be talking about how do you know when it's time to course correct? And what are those signs that allow you to get that guidance that maybe it's an opportunity to shift your energy or your focus somewhere else, and what gets in the way of doing just that. And I'm going to share a personal story for myself of what's going on currently for me in my world. And I would love to hear from you all. So if you're with me live, make sure you've given StreamYard permission so that I can see any comments that you might have and say hello. And then if you're watching the replay, #replay. So I thought this was a great time to have this conversation because we are stepping into this big energy, or we are in it this week with the full moon, and we've got a lunar eclipse as well. And hopefully I'll remember at the end, I have something for you that I created around this that I'll be sharing for those of you that are interested, and we'll have a post tomorrow about it. I've got a journal and some journal prompts and a meditation for anybody that's interested. But in the meantime, let's talk about what happens when, we've set some intentions. It's a new moon. We've set some intentions. We've said, this is where we're headed. This is where we want to go. This is what we want to do. And then we start to get some signs. Maybe things aren't flowing the way we thought they were. Maybe it's, as much as we're doing, we're not getting the traction. We're not creating what we had thought. Now I talk about being patient with the forming, and maybe we set a timeline or a time frame for ourselves that wasn't ideal for our energy. So that's one possibility for sure. Or it could be that our energy has shifted, or the energy in general has shifted. And so where we thought we needed to go isn't necessarily the course that we're meant to take anymore. And the challenge with this is that when we have said yes to something, especially if we put a lot of time and energy into it, and time is our most precious resource. Your time is precious. You only have a finite amount of it. So where and how you choose to invest that time is important and powerful. So we can get stuck and say, well, I committed to this. I said I was going down this path. I said I was going to do this. I was going to do it this way. And by hell or high water, I'm going this direction. And then what happens is the universe is like, no, you're not. Sorry, not happening. And we get challenged and we start to feel these roadblocks. And so we'll push harder because we think we should ourselves. And so what do you do when you're in this situation that you're going down one pathway and it's not flowing the way you intended it to? How do you shift? How do you know when it's just a be patient scenario? How do you know when it's trust and surrender? And how do you know when you got to change course? So let me give you an example from my own experience as of late to help you see. And then I'm going to give you 3 ways that I have found really help to know what's needed, if you do need to course correct or not, or what else might be needed instead. So most of you know I've been promoting Soul Client Alignment, the winter cohort, and I was really excited. I am really excited about, running this program again. I see where it can be improved. I see where it created some really phenomenal results for my clients, where it gave them some really solid foundations in their business and life to move them forward. And so I'm really excited to share that information again. And right out of the gate, I had a number of folks who were a yes before I even did my summit back in September, before I even announced it to the world. So I was like, wow, my course is half full and I haven't even done anything. The universe is aligned with this. Great. And then one by one, for one reason or another, now was not the time. And it wasn't because they didn't see the value in it. It just wasn't the time. Okay, I find this interesting. I get curious because this is what I tell people, tell myself, I get curious. All right. So continuing to make offers, continuing to promote the course, share it with you all to see what's coming through. A couple more people say yes. Exciting. So a little slower energy than I thought it would be, but that was okay. And then I took a break to manage my energy in October, and I knew I didn't want to start, excuse me, until December. So I took a break from promoting it and just sat with it. And then one of those two people had life happen and was unable to continue. Long story short, as I came into November and into the last, what would have been based on my course that I had mapped out, this next round of sharing about the program and making invitations, I had two people, one for certain and one who was a strong possibility. But yet I really was feeling like, as I was explaining to some of my support, that I was going to give one more push. And that didn't feel very good. And I had been seeing signs all the way along, these very strange things. Folks would refer people to me, and there were just roadblock after roadblock that the universe kept putting up. Walls, barriers, stop signs. And I finally dropped in. I'm doing a program myself, really envisioning what's next for me and my business. And I just kept getting the hit that I need to put pause on this. And so I had to give myself permission to do that, because it felt like my ego was like, oh, you're failing. You set this intention, you are going to fill this course, and you're failing. By the way, all along through all this, other parts of my business are flourishing. Other pieces that I didn't know were going to come in showed up. The thing I thought was going to show up didn't come to fruition the way I thought. And I came to this place of knowing within myself and trusting myself to say, give myself permission to let it go for now. Does it mean I won't run it again? No, it doesn't mean that at all. What it means is I'm getting curious and I'm giving myself permission to pause so that what I am doing feels aligned with my energy. So I'm course correcting. I'm allowing myself space and time to see where this is going to go. So how do you get there for yourself? What are the 3 things that can help you powerfully make a decision or be aware? Even for a while, I wasn't even aware I needed to course correct. It's like, oh, this is happening. Okay, that's interesting. It always begins and ends with awareness. So being aware of what's happening, what messages you're receiving, what feedback you're getting from your community, from your internal guidance, from your guides. Awareness begins and ends with awareness. So keeping that high level of awareness and then getting curious. When things aren't flowing the way you thought, or you're seeing some different version of what you thought, then get curious. Lean into it. Try to see what might be happening. I've been in the energy of curiosity now for a while around this, and I just kept asking for guidance and to be shown. And I kept taking inspired action. And then when the inspiration disappeared, I realized that was the end of the road. And I had to do the 3rd step, which was give myself permission to let it go for now. And because I only have a finite amount of time and energy. You only have a finite amount of time and energy. So giving ourselves permission to put that energy and time into things that are going to move the meter in the now, and not judging ourselves for it. I said to my husband, there's a part of me that, feels like a failure. But what's true about that? Famous Sherry question. What's true about that? I'm not a failure. In fact, if anything, I'm honoring myself for hitting the pause button, so that I could really dive in to me, understand what was out of alignment. Because obviously, if things aren't moving, I mean, this isn't obvious. I believe it's when things aren't moving and flowing, there's something out of alignment in our energy that keeps us from that flow. So let me recap. How do you know? How do you keep an eye on, where you want to go, set those intentions, have those visions, have those dreams, and stay curious? It's awareness. Awareness, number one, because I always say the universe has a bigger and better plan for us than we could ever imagine for ourselves. So I know I've had this knowing that there's something going on over here that I don't have full vision of yet that I'm supposed to be stepping into. I don't know what that is. That's a little scary. But if I had stayed right here, I likely would have missed that. So awareness of the signs you're getting, the feedback you're receiving, how you're feeling, how you're experiencing things. Get curious. Take some more action. See how it feels. Try a different way to see if it can shift the energy to create that flow towards what you were intending. And if it doesn't, if it's still stuck, if the energy is still stuck and you aren't feeling aligned with it, please give yourself permission to let go for now. It may not be forever. In my case, I don't believe it's forever. It's a for now thing. So I invite you to get curious. I invite you to stay in your awareness and give yourself that permission. So we're in this, like I said, really powerful time right now. Energetically, astrologically, there's a lot of energy coming up. It's a beautiful time to give yourself permission to get curious and stay in awareness. We're moving from, with this eclipse, we start this shift energetically, moving out of a 2-year cycle we've been in of thinking and acting to a new cycle of feeling and sensing, which in business can kind of be like, well, I can't run my business that way. Again, what's true about that? I can't run my life that way. Well, what's true about that? I believe you feel and sense, tap into this heart mind, and that will guide the thinking and acting phase. So we flip the scenario. So, and there's a lot that we're working with at this time, and I'll post more about this tomorrow. In terms of what issues that we're working with in this energy. But you're starting, if you haven't already, they're starting with the eclipse on Friday and the full moon. The energies have already started to lift. So one of the things I want to give you permission to do and reminder is stay grounded, stay clear in your own energy. There's a lot to assist us in this cycle, and there's a lot that's going to jar us and ask us to, what do you want to commit your time and energy to? What is it that is going to give you security and stability? What is it, what is our capacity and what do we want to do with that? So don't judge yourself if you need to course correct. If you come out of this week, if you come out of any exploration, give yourself permission to do things in your beingness, asking yourself, what do I want to be, feel, and experience more of in my life and in my business? It's all related. You are you, your energy, your energetic being. So that's the story for today. So talking about course correcting, gave you those 3 pieces. I will keep you posted on what's next, but what's immediately next is the full moon. And tomorrow we'll post some information, including a journal and meditation. For those of you who are interested, you can reach out to me and I will send that to you. All right, my friends, have a beautiful rest of your day. And remember, as always, all it takes is a little bit of heart power. See you next time.